Welcome back to 5 Acre Farms. I'm Luke. We're going to jump right into this incubator video because that's really why you're here. I'm inside the house. I usually do this down in the brooder room, but I got 6 incubators here in the house that I'm reviewing for you guys. So I'm just going to set up a table here inside the house. You really need to, on incubators, put them in a temperature controlled room so the temperatures stay consistent. But today's video is going to be Temu's top rated 12 egg incubator and Amazon's top selling 12 egg incubator. So I have a couple incubators here. This one back here was supposed to be a quail egg incubator and it's not. So don't buy this one expecting it to be a quail egg incubator. It's supposed to have the trays for quail eggs and it doesn't. So we'll still hatch some eggs in it even though it's got the chicken trays. This incubator is an 18 egg incubator. I'm going to save that one for another video. But these two right here are Temu and Amazon. Just what you came for. At first glance, they're the exact same thing. One just says Mayuoso Incubator and the other one is Smart Incubator. Same buttons, same everything. Let's see if they're the same price. So on Amazon, this one here is, let's see if I can get you without a glare, but it is $39. And that's with Prime shipping. Smart Incubator. And it is essentially $30. So it's tough to like sort through all their prices. It says $20 if you apply credit. A lot of times you can get like coupons and promotions and all sorts of stuff on Temu, so you kind of never know what the price is, but essentially it was $30. I'm not sure if that's what I paid for it with playing the little games and whatever. But Smart Incubator from Temu for $30 and the Mayuoso Incubator for $33. So roughly the same price. Maybe Temu's just a little bit cheaper. Can't remember on the shipping, but they look exactly alike. So these both have automatic egg turners. So let's open these guys up and look inside here. Yeah, it smells brand new from China. A water reservoir bottle. These pretty much are the exact same thing. Even the packaging and everything inside here looks to be the same. This one, the Amazon one, comes with a squirt bottle, and the Temu one does not. Usually they include a squirt bottle to bring up the humidity during lockdown. But I never really worry about that too much. Let's see if these are... Even the instructions are the exact same. On the instructions, they even say Smart Incubator, like the Temu one. The Temu one says Smart Incubator. So I'm guessing somebody just buys them from China and then puts their little logo thing on them. and the egg turner's yellow, so I don't know how that works. But I'm going to unbox this, get it set up, and then read the instructions and then summarize them for you. The incubators, as soon as you plug them in, the rotators rotate for a couple seconds, I guess, so you know if they're working or not. Instructions are pretty basic. They don't really tell you much other than if you want to set the temperature, you push the left button and then the 2 arrow buttons up and down. There's no adjustment for the egg turner. There's no adjustment for humidities. It did come with a little styrofoam block that you're supposed to put underneath this water for some reason. And they also say to use the styrofoam lid, like to put over top of it, without the power cord, obviously. Or feed the power cord through the top if you're in a room that gets below 68 degrees. Other than that, tells you how to collect eggs, how to clean the machine. You want to remove the egg turner tray on lockdown, which is 3 days before hatching, so that'd be day 18 if you're doing chickens. So if you don't know, chickens take 21 days. On day 18, you want to remove the turning tray. That way when they start hatching, their feet don't get caught. But pretty much these are the exact same. They're both up to 100 degrees. It tells you how to candle eggs. It doesn't come with a candling spot on top like some other incubators. But these are also $30, or roughly $30. $30 is pretty much just like a meal out or something. Like $30 is not much. So if these are good incubators, then heck, for $30. One thing I will note is they come with a little water bottle. You're supposed to fill it up and then put it on to this little tray that has a hose. I was not happy with the length of the hose that it came with. The hose was about 10 inches, so I decided to cut it down to about 3 inches. Well, that makes it difficult when you need to flip the water bottle over onto the little tray here, and I spilt water everywhere. So don't cut your hose. I just didn't want a 10-inch hose hanging around here because I'm going to have this whole table full of incubators here in a second. But, you know, we're not just going to trust the process here. We're going to use our Inkbird and test these temperatures to see how accurate these temperatures are. The temperatures say they're 100 degrees. This Inkbird is made for like DIY incubators. You would plug a heating element into it, and when it got below a certain temperature, it would turn on the heating element, or like a brooder or something like that, and this is your temperature probe. So let's put this inside here and see how accurate it is. So it's saying it's 71 out, or 71 in this room right now. So let's try to see if we can't sneak this temperature probe in here and try to get a decent reading. I know it's going to leave a little bit of a seal or a crack around the bottom, but hopefully it will tell us an accurate temperature. Same with the hydrometer. These incubators don't tell us the humidity, so we're going to see what the humidity is too. You can't really adjust humidity. So once these humidity and temperatures level out on the Temu one, I'll let you know. Alright, the Temu incubator has leveled out 99.9 degrees, and the humidity at 58.8. It's still going down just a little bit. There's a fan in there that kicks on and off, and the temperature on and off. So when the temperature drops, it kicks on, so on and so forth. So that humidity is going to go up and down as water evaporates, and that fan kicks on and off. But I mean, I think it'll get down to about that 55 to 60 range for humidity, which is fine. My big GQF incubators, I usually keep them running around 50 to 60% humidity all the time, even when I'm hatching. So far, Temu incubator, it's holding temperature at 99.9. These, to adjust temperature, I don't really think you can, you can't really adjust it to a decimal point. So it's either 100 or 99. So I'm just going to keep it at 100 and go from there. Humidity's down now to 57.8. So the humidity reservoir, whenever it gets empty, just fill it back up. That's pretty simple. And then once they start hatching in here, they'll bump the humidity up themselves. So let's switch the probes over to the Amazon one and see if it has the same results. It's been about the same amount of time for this Amazon incubator, and the temperature stopped at about, the incubator said 100, but on my Inkbird it stopped at 97, like 0.7, which is not hot enough. So I went ahead and turned the temperature on the incubator up to 102, and now we're reading 99.4, 99.6. So I think it's been at that 99.5 average for a while now. The humidity is reading 60%, which is a little bit warmer, a little bit more humid than the other one, but it's still doable. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this one at 102, and the Temu one was spot on from the beginning. The Amazon one, surprisingly, isn't reading accurate. Either the temperature probe isn't reading accurate, or it's not putting off the right. I don't know the situation. But if you're going to buy cheap incubators, you need to have a way to test the temperature other than what the incubator says. Don't ever trust the incubator. Luckily, I've had these for a while, and I use them occasionally for stuff like this when I need to know an accurate temperature. These are a little more expensive than, they make little cheap ones. The biggest thing is to have, I know these Inkbirds are accurate. If you're going to buy cheap little thermometers to put in here, get several of them and test them out, and then take the average of all of them. And you can just do like a meat probe and stick it in, and an accurate meat probe, and do that. But like I said, these guys are running at 102 and 100, and they got the automatic water float. I think we're ready to set eggs. So I'll go ahead and pull this stuff out. And I know there's just going to be a little bitty crack in here along the bottom from the cords, but that's not going to change the temperature 3 degrees. The one thing I don't like about these incubators is it didn't say anything in here about rotating the eggs. So unless I see them rotating, it doesn't say how often it rotates. It doesn't have a manual button for rotate. So I just have to assume that they're going to rotate every 2 hours. I don't know. So I'm going to take an egg. So these eggs that I'm using are my sex link eggs. I got a whole tray here. These are all within a couple days old. They're from my sex link pen, which is Rhode Island Red Rooster over Barred Rock and Delaware hens. I do have 2 Rhode Island Red hens in there, so we may have some purebred Rhode Island Reds, but we're going to make some sex link chicks. I have 2 of these trays in my GQF incubators I put in last night, so they will all be hatching at about the same time, in theory. So we'll have a really good idea if these guys are just as good as my GQFs or not, because if I put whatever 80 eggs or 90 eggs in my big incubators and 80 of them hatch, then I know I have that 90% hatch rate or whatever it is. I'll figure out what my percentage is in my big incubator, and then we'll have a pretty good accurate test to see if the same percentage in here. So if I put 12 eggs in here and 10 hatch, then we're at that roughly 90% hatch rate, so on and so forth. So I use my GQFs as a control because I don't want to say like only 1 hatches in here out of the 12 in my GQF. If it's like a 10% hatch rate in one of these and it's a 10% hatch rate in my GQFs, then I know it's not these incubators' fault. I want to make sure that I know that those incubators are really accurate, so we have something to compare them to, if that makes sense. That's the control. So we're going to go ahead and take these lids off. In the instructions it says to candle them like 3 times. I don't think that's super necessary. I only like to candle on day 18 because I don't want to open and close this thing a bunch of times, and if it's not going to make it on day 9, then it's not going to make it on day 18. So it's not like if I needed these spots of it open to put new eggs in, then I get it. Like candle them on day 9, throw out the bad ones. You can put a few more back in. Then you're going to have staggered hatches, which means you're going to be taking the rotator out for some of them to hatch, and then it's just a nightmare to just set 12 eggs, run them all the way till they all hatch, and then put another 12 eggs in. At the price of $30, if you're going to only hatch a couple chickens a year, these might be a really, really good option. If you just want to replace some hens you lose every year with barnyard mixes or something, I'm going to put an X on one of these eggs. I'm not sure how well you can see that. Right here in the front spot. That way, if it does rotate, I'll know that it is rotating every couple hours. I'm not going to put an X on every one of them. I just want to make sure they're rotating. I like incubators that rotate eggs pointy end down. Obviously the mother hen doesn't set all her eggs underneath her pointy end down, she lays them on her side. So these do work on their side. A lot of incubators roll this way. But we're gonna put all of our eggs in here. And I've already hatched a few chicks out of these sex links, so I know there's some fertile. But like I said, I only have 3 roosters on about 30 hens, so they're not being overbred by any means. 1 rooster to 10 hens is kind of the most you can get away with per rooster. So you really want to make sure your lid is snug down into the groove. And there you have it. Temu incubator is set up. Let's grab the Amazon incubator. As of right now, I'm more impressed with the Temu incubator than the Amazon incubator. But again, I'm going to put a little X on this very first egg that's going to be right in this position. I'm going to turn the pointy end toward the middle. It doesn't really show in the diagram if you're supposed to have them pointy end out, pointy end in. Not sure it matters. But we're just going to load this puppy up with 12 eggs. I'm excited for these little incubators. For $30, man, if you can hatch 10 chicks every hatch, you're going to pay this thing off so fast. The price of chicks ain't getting any cheaper, guys. Might as well make your own. I sell chicks for an average of $10 a piece. Granted, a lot of my breeds are a little more high-end than what you buy in the store, but your average store chick is, let's just say, $5. If you hatch 6 chicks out of here one time, you're going to pay for this pretty quick. So, just like that. Make sure the lid's on there snug. And voila! If you have any questions about these incubators, put them down in the comments below. Other than that, we'll see you guys back on day 18 when we candle these guys. And we're going to set up a couple more incubators here for a different video. Same eggs, same everything. We'll do a review on these, but this video is just a review over Temu's 12 egg incubator and Amazon's 12 egg incubator, which are literally the exact same thing. Or are they? Because this one, temperature wise, was not accurate or as accurate as the Temu one. And the Temu one's a few dollars cheaper. So, one thing I have noticed is the Amazon one is sucking in more water than the Temu one from the beginning. Maybe it's just not maybe this one's just not, the water level's not leveled out, but maybe they'll level back out here once they get the right amount of water in there. But other than that, we are going to give these incubators away, so watch all the way till the end of the video, and I'll tell you how you can get entered into winning these 2 incubators. I'm going to give away all these incubators. So you got to like this video, you have to be subscribed, and you have to comment on the video to win these. But maybe you don't want to win these. You'll have to wait till the end of the video to figure out if you actually want these or not. But we'll see you guys on day 18 when we candle these guys. You can put them into lockdown, and then we'll video when they start hatching. But hope you guys are enjoying this. I love doing incubator stuff, so I'm going to start working on another video for you guys. We'll see you guys here. Well, for me, it's going to be 18 days. For you, it's going to be right now. We're into the sex links hatching eggs, and I'm just going to do some quick candling real quick. I use the GQFs as a control for all my incubators I'm testing right now. So I have 2 trays, 2 full trays. So I'm going to candle all of them, put the ones that are ready to hatch in a hatching tray. I'm going to count the how many are developed and making a chick, and then the ones that were not fertile, I'll throw those out. Then we'll figure out from how many were fertile and how many hatch, and we'll figure out that percentage. So if 90% of the eggs were fertile, I'm going to take those 90%, say it's 40 eggs, and I'm going to put all 40 eggs that developed into the tray, and if 38 out of the 40 hatched, then I'm going to figure out what that percentage is, 92 or 94%, whatever that percentage is. And I'm going to use that data to go into the house and test it against all these Temu and Amazon incubators. So you're going to see this same video clip that we're making right now for 3 or 4 different videos. me explaining why I'm incubating eggs out of a GQF, even though we're reviewing an Amazon or a Temu incubator. So I'm gonna bomb through these real quick. The fertility should be high. So there's a dud. Just to kind of show you what a dud looks like. It's transparent. In all these, you can see it moving. Maybe a little bit there. But these are all good eggs. You can see them moving in there. My fertility is really high right now. So I'm guessing this, oh, there's one that's a dud. But we should have, there's a dud. But we should have a really high hatch rate dud. You guys get the point. So I'm gonna candle all these. 5, 6, 7, 8 eggs out of, I think, 48. So 40 out of 48 eggs are good. It puts it at about 80% or 83, whatever it is, 80 something percent is going to be fertile eggs out of these hens. And really, with only having 5 out of 40, that could be like one of my hens just isn't laying fertile eggs. So that's going to be tough to figure out which hen it is, but it may be getting bred, it's just not making a fertile egg. Anyway, I'm going to do both trays, figure out that number of fertility, and then we'll have another video clip here in a second that will show how many hatched that were fertile. Hope all this makes sense. It's kind of confusing. But anyway, and then we'll go in and look at the Amazon stuff. Alright, bye. We have candled all the GQF incubator eggs. So there was 96 eggs, 78 of them were developed, or started developing, or were fertile. We took all 78 of them and put them in the hatching tray. That number will, if we have 78 of them hatch, then that means we have 100% hatch rate from fertile eggs. But out of the 78 divided by 96 is 81% of my eggs that I collected were fertile. So if I was to sell these hatching eggs to somebody, I can tell them that they are 81% fertile. Now, they will start developing. 81% of the eggs will start developing. Maybe not 81% will hatch, but 81% will start developing. We're not worried about necessarily fertility. We're worried about hatchability. So, out of 78 eggs, we'll find out. I put everything in there that started developing. So even if it looked like it was only 7 days developed and it died, or 18 days developed and it died, I put them in there. So we'll know a very accurate number in 3 days when everything's hatched, what the hatching percentage is with the GQFs, and then we'll use that to compare it to all these Temu and Amazon incubators. So, alright, back to those incubators. We're back. Temu versus Amazon. We're on day 18, lockdown day. Time to take the turner out. Believe it or not, these are pretty much the exact same thing. 18 days in, buttons are the same if you haven't figured that out. Temperatures read, the Smart Incubator, which is the Temu one, actually reads 100 degrees consistent. The Amazon one reads 102, but as you saw, I did that for a reason because my ink birds told me 102 is actually 99.5. So I've added in before this. You saw me out in the brooder room with the GQFs talking about we're only going to continue to incubate from day 18 to day 22 with eggs that are fertile. So we're going to take out all the ones that were not fertile, showed 0 signs of development. If they showed 5 days of development, we're going to leave them in because we want to know if the incubator will hatch a fertile egg. No sense testing. I'm not testing my chickens fertility rate, I'm checking the incubator's rate at hatching fertile eggs. So I hope that makes sense. We're on incubator review number 9 or whatever it is. I'm losing my mind because I'm repeating the same stuff over again. But we're going to take the lids off, candle them, take the turner out, and let you know what we got going here. I'm using my little candler here because these two little incubators do not have candling lights on them like most do. We're just going to bomb through these real quick. I'm just looking for an air sac line. So this is going to be the first one that I'll say is not fertile. Might have went for a day or two, but that's about it. So we're going to say 11 out of the 12. And like I said, that's a really sharp air sac line. All these are running about this. These all look consistent. These all look really good. I got to give it to this little Temu 12 egg incubator because all 11 of the eggs that were fertile look like they're fully developed. Some of these other incubators I can't say that about. So we're going to pop out the egg rotating tray and then come over here to the Amazon one. Gonna candle these real quick from the Amazon incubator. So that's a egg that was not fertilized. Just looking for a sharp air sac line. So not fertile, won't hatch. There's a couple others in here, like that one. It made it to several days and then looked like it just died a couple days ago. I don't see it moving in there. It shouldn't look like that on day 18. Same with this one. They usually call that a blood ring when you start getting a blood vein wrapping around the top. This one probably won't hatch. I'm almost positive. Several of these. This one's moving, so it should hatch. But it still looks like it's a couple days from, I mean, more than 3 days anyway. Anyways, I think, a rough guess, I know probably 2 of these aren't going to hatch. One wasn't, 2 of them weren't fertile. So, I say we can still get roughly 8 eggs to hatch out of this Amazon one. I don't know. We're going to take the rotator out and get ready for hatch day. Temu 12 egg, Amazon 12 egg. As you can see, we're 48 hours in. Everybody's hatching, and it looks like everybody is good and fluffy. So these are black and red sex links. There's a few Rhode Island reds like that one. Most of these are sex links here, but we're going to pull them out, candle what's left that didn't hatch. Then we're gonna do the numbers and figure out what the hatch rate is per incubator. And then I'm gonna give you my final thoughts, and I'm gonna tell you how you guys can win these incubators, because I'm gonna mail these out to you guys. So, guess I'll shut this one down. This is the Temu incubator, the smart incubator. One thing I don't like about dome incubators is when you open them and all the chicks come barreling out. But I'm gonna do my best here to get this thing open. Oh, nobody panic. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we got 9. It holds 12. There was 11 that had developed. So I should have 2 that did not hatch. And I'm going to candle these real quick and see if they're still... Hey, this one looks like it is not going to hatch. And same with that one. So 2 either developed at some point and ended up dying out. So I'm going to write this down. Put 9 hatched. So I'll tell you what those numbers are here in just a second on the hatch rate. But 9 out of 11 is not bad. So that's the Temu incubator. This one's the Amazon incubator. It's essentially the exact same thing. I don't wanna... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. 10 in there. So 10 were fertile on this incubator. And 10 hatched. So 2 out of the 12 that we put in here were not fertile. 10 were fertile and 10 hatched. So that is what I call 100% hatch rate. That's the Amazon one. So let me do my math here real quick, and I'll let you know what they are percentage-wise. Alright, so the Temu incubator, the Smart incubator, was 81% hatch rate, and the Amazon was 100% hatch rate. So obviously, the Amazon one is better, but I still think that if like these 10 eggs were in this incubator, I still think this would have got 100% hatch rate. So I don't, it's hard to say like this incubator is better than this incubator even though the percentage was off, because one egg can be 10% obviously if it doesn't hatch. So I felt like this one, the Temu incubator worked at 100 degrees right out of the box. This one had to read 102 degrees out of the box to be 100 degrees. So I tested that with my Inkbird, as you guys saw at the beginning of the video. So I guess if you're going to get either one of these, you need to have a secondary thermometer. Make sure you set it to the right temperature. It doesn't say the humidity, but whatever I said it was at the beginning of the video was the humidity it reads. I don't remember, that was 21 days ago. But I think these are essentially the same. I'm not going to say one is better than the other, because I think if these 12 eggs were in this incubator and these 12 eggs were in this incubator, I think those results would have been opposite. I don't think that one was better than the other. So I know you guys are probably wanting an answer. which one should you buy. If you want it faster, buy the Amazon one. If you want it a few bucks cheaper, buy the Temu one. I think that they're going to be the exact same. So, I'm going to mail these out to you guys. So I'm going to pick 2 people out of the comments. You have to be subscribed to the channel. You have to tell me where you're from and what breed of chicken you want to hatch out of it. So I'll mail it to the lower 48. Sorry to all the international watchers, but we'll mail these out. We'll run this till the end of July of 2025. So it is July 2nd. So I'm going to give everybody 1 month to watch this and comment, and then I'll August 1st or something, I'll go through there and pick a winner. So I'm going to pick a winner, and then I'm going to comment on your comment. So to email me or get a hold of me somehow. If you don't get a hold of me in a few days or a week, then I'm going to pick a new winner. That's about the easiest way to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, Amazon versus Temu's 12 egg incubators. We got 3 other incubator videos coming out, so keep an eye out for those. We're going to give all these incubators away to you guys, except for maybe this one, and I'll explain why in that video. So, and we got 2 more incubators out in the brooder room to review. If you guys want to see an incubator reviewed, put the link of the incubator in the comments. So don't just tell me which one, because it'll get lost in the comments. Just find the link off of Amazon or whatever website, put it in the description, and I'll go look at it. And if we get 5 or 10 or 20 people wanting the same incubator, then I'll just go ahead and get it and do a review over it. But that's all I have for you guys on this video. Thanks for watching. We love you guys. Don't haggle with your egg supplier. Hatch your chicks local or buy them local. But we'll see you guys on the next one.